In this video, I'm going to review how the Blackboard course is laid out. So this is the starting screen you will see. So the very first set of activities that you need to perform is the orientation. So click the orientation folder and there's a bunch of tasks listed here. Review the getting started instructions, and then you need to complete all the tasks listed in this folder. And of these, some of the videos that I'm recording right now will be part of task 1. Once you have done all that, then you need to proceed to course lessons, which is right here. That's the second tab. So go to course lessons, and the requirements or the tasks that you need to complete for the 6 weeks are laid out week by week. So week 1 is from 5/16 to 5/20, and then we have full weeks going from week 2 to week 6, and then the last couple of days that spills over to the 7th week, so I call that 6 plus, just 2 days in that folder. So each folder, okay, let's review week 1. Now each folder will list what are the tasks that you need to complete. The reading assignment, and then the lessons that you have to complete, and then review those lessons and make sure that you understand all of these. So 1, 2, and 3, those are your classwork. And any questions in any of them, feel free to contact me. I'm here to help. And this is where you need to first complete these 3 activities, and then you proceed to the assessments for each chapter, right? So for week 1 there are 2 chapters. Some weeks will have only 1 chapter, couple of weeks has only 1 chapter, but most of the weeks will have 2 chapters, and each chapter will have its own specific due date. So if you have 2 chapters, the first chapter will be due on a Thursday, and then the second of the 2 chapters will be due on Sunday night. So let's review what's inside the chapter folder. So the first table that you see is the learning objectives for the chapter, and then we have the course material. Typically you'll have 2 files: the PowerPoint file that you need to review the lecture videos, and then you need the shell file to work on the class problems. Okay, those are listed in chapter 1 lessons. So you go to chapter 1 lessons, and there will be a bunch of videos, and some of the videos will have just lecture, then some I will work problems out. And here's the important thing: when I work the problems out, you may want to simply watch the video and think that that's it, but that's not it. Just watching the video is not fulfilling the task. I repeat, just watching the video any number of times. Sometimes students tell me that they watched it 1,000 times. Of course, they were exaggerating, but you can watch 1,000,000 times. You're still not fulfilling the task. So what you need to do is download this shell file, and you'll have that shell file for each chapter. Then work the problem out with the video as your guide. You complete the classwork, then you've completed the task. And then you go into assessments. There are 2 categories of assessments. One is a test, which is like a take-home test, which has to be done in Excel. And I have lots of instructions as to what to do and what not to do. And the best practices, you need to review all of those. Okay, once you get the hang of it, then of course you'll be able to follow those the rest of the way. But before you get started, read these 2 documents. They are very important. Not following any of these instructions may end up with getting a 0 for this test. So make sure that you understand. So each of these tests will have a description of the problems you need to do in a Word document, and then there is this shell file that you need to download and personalize. Okay, so this is for maintaining the integrity of the assessments. So you have to download this shell file to work on your take home Excel test. Okay, you can't just simply open up a file on your own and work the problems out. If you do, you're going to get 0 for the work. Yeah. So that's one part of the assessment, the take home Excel test. And remember that this is a test, so you have to do it on your own. It is your work that is going to be graded. So no group this is not a group project. You can't work with somebody else. So no help from anybody. It should reflect your understanding of the class lessons. And then the second part of the assessment is the online test. Okay, and I have for problem online test will cover both multiple choice as well as true false questions that cover concepts, and they will also have problems. Okay, and I have a practice test for the problem, so you get the hang of what kind of questions you're likely to see in the online test. You can repeat this any number of times. This is optional, and the grades that you make there are not recorded anywhere, so it's not going to be part of your final grade. This is only for getting used to the kind of questions that you will see when you actually take the test. Now, when the tests are slightly on the longish side, I split them into 2 or even some cases 3, just to make sure that you don't have to complete the entire test in one sitting. So you can plan your time accordingly. So if you finish one part of it and that's done, and you don't have to, in case, I give 2 attempts for each of these. So in case you're satisfied with your first attempt in one, you don't have to repeat that. And in the second part, if you want to repeat it, you can repeat just that part alone. So for that reason, I split it up in most of the cases. There are a couple of chapters where the test is kind of small, so I didn't bother to split it into more than one. So in summary, you have 2 parts to the assessment: your Excel test, which serves like a take-home test, all right, and that has to be done individually, no help from any source. It's like you're sitting in an exam and you're doing the exam, you're not going to get any help from anybody. So this has to reflect your work. And this is online test. Online test will be graded automatically right when you submit, whereas the Excel test, the take-home type test, I'll grade it myself, and it'll take about 2-3 days for me to finish grading. So that's what you will see in the course lessons tab. One folder for each week, and within that folder you will have chapters listed. Within each chapter you will have your classwork and then your assessments. That's the bulk of the Blackboard page. And I have some more tabs here. Okay, some information about me, how to get in touch with me, and an introductory video of me. Okay, and then the textbook. Make sure that you buy the correct textbook. Look at the ISBN, look at the front cover. Okay, sometimes students buy wrong textbook or wrong edition or something, and the problems I have listed in the test doesn't match what you have in your textbook, in which case you end up getting a 0. So make sure that you buy the correct textbook. And here is the syllabus. Okay, and when you download syllabus, you may get this error. So you shouldn't request access. You just switch accounts and log in with your UTC ID, and I've explained all that here. And I have some more information, and then I have given a calculator for your grade, because there is lots of tests, okay, Excel test and online tests and everything. So I have a comprehensive grade calculator. So download that, and you can make sure that the grade that you see in Blackboard is actually what you have calculated. In case of any problems, let me know. And here are some links for technical support. So that's a syllabus, and here is communication, that is how to communicate with me. There are some information here about how to communicate with me, how to communicate with students, how to communicate with tech support, and stuff like that. And then there is, of course, discussion board. I have two discussion boards here, one for introduction and general discussions of interest, and then course related questions, concept questions. Okay. So in your classwork, if you have any questions that you want answered for the entire class, you can post it here, or you can email me if you just want for your edification. And then there are some more tabs that are self-explanatory. So that's how the Blackboard is laid out. Make sure that you review all the tabs and understand how things are laid out. And if you have any questions, you let me know.